There it is. You're live, it says. All right, here we are. Hopefully we don't have the same complications that we had last week. We'll have to see. I don't know. But anyway, welcome, folks. How is everybody doing tonight? I'm a mess. I literally just sat down here because I just got home from work. I'm going to try to make myself not appear to be so bright. Let's see if this makes a difference. Ooh, yeah, it does. There it is. Somebody said, "Hey, John, you look bored." Well, the thumbnail would definitely make me look that way, but I did that kind of on purpose because I'm just really tired. I literally just got home from work, but I didn't want to miss this with y'all. I wanted to come on here and do this live stream with y'all tonight because this is something that I really do enjoy. I like hanging out with all of you, and it's a good time. So you saw the title of the video or of the stream, air pumps. What did I do? I mean, I just did it like a minute ago. Air pumps versus wave makers or power heads. Let me tell you why we're going to talk about that. 15 minutes ago, I posted on the Tank Talk Facebook group, "Hey, I'm running late here, last minute. Anybody have any ideas for things to talk about in the live stream tonight?" And this is one of the things that people suggested, among a couple of other things too, which we will get to in just a minute. But this one actually came in from, where is it? I can't find it now. I should have, okay, it was Michael Smith. Remember back in, what was it, like the early 90s? Most of you are probably too young. There was a Christian singer named Michael W. Smith. Remember him? That guy was awesome. I think he might even still be around. But anyway, I don't think it's the same guy. He said, let's talk about air pump versus wave makers. Which do you prefer? I'll not only talk about what I prefer, but also, my reasoning for that. Although that's going to be kind of hard because I don't think I really do prefer one over the other. I think they're both very, very good. I think they both serve different purposes. And that's what we will talk about here as we go on here. So, hello, Dean from England. Hello, John and John's fans. Where'd it go? Somebody just said something about Steam Fought Aquatics. I don't know what he said. Oh, but I can scroll. Let's see. What did he say? Steam Fought Aquatics sent me to you. He stopped his stream if you were... Did he stop his stream? Was he streaming tonight and he stopped? Well, that's cool that somebody would do that. I mean, instead of stepping on somebody else's toes, that's like a show of respect. I appreciate that. That's really cool. But he didn't have to stop. I mean, I do this every Thursday. So, anyway, but wave makers or power heads, which is, power heads, circulation pumps, wave makers, whatever you want to call them, versus air pumps. They kind of do the same thing, but there are other options. And please understand, folks, I have no script prepared. I have no preparation for this whatsoever. I'm just talking off the top of my head. And that's kind of what I like about these live streams. That's what I do. I get quite a few complaints every single week on every stream. You talk too much. You run your mouth too much. Get to the point. Well, that's kind of what this is for, is to just kind of relax and have fun with it, okay? So I'm just going to talk about air pumps versus wave makers. So there's a couple of different things that one of them will do while the other will not. A perfect example, if you are somebody who still believes, and there's nothing wrong with you if you do, but you still believe in the prehistoric filtering method of using undergravel filters. Okay, that's fine. I used to use them back in the day. I don't use them anymore, but hey, some people do. A lot of people will use power heads or wave makers or not circulation pumps, but power heads on the top of those chimneys, whatever you want to call them, to help draw the water through and draw the water down to the substrate. So you can't use an air stone for that. You would use a power head for that. So there's one thing that it can be used where the other can't necessarily be used for that. Sponge filters, you could actually use either or. Now, I guess we should probably talk about three separate things: power heads, wave makers or circulation pumps, and air pumps. Because they are three different things. So yeah, let's do that. Sponge filters are one of those things where you actually can, if you have the right adapter on your power head. Oh my God, somebody just donated money. If y'all ever want, I mean, I'm not doing this as some kind of selfish ploy, but if you want to hear your name mentioned and you want to, then do that, because I'm definitely going to shout you out. Where did it go? Joel Gillett. I just hopped off the bus from Steamfont Aquatics channel. Please never stop ranting. Well, thank you. Because of your donation, I will continue ranting for as long as you keep watching. I'm going to try to go to my channel to see if I can find this. But there are a lot of power heads that have adapters where you can attach them to the top of sponge filters and really draw that water through your sponge filter. You could also accomplish the same thing with an air pump. I mean, it's not going to be quite as powerful as the power head, but 99% of the people out there that are using sponge filters have them connected to air pumps, not power heads. But I'm just trying to give you examples of what a goal where either of these could achieve that goal. One may be better than the other. You understand what I'm saying, right? Power heads are definitely going to really draw it through faster. And you know what I'm saying? It's pretty obvious. I mean, it's really pulling that water through the sponge filter. So you're going to get more efficiency doing it that way. But again, most people, they just go with air pumps on there, just like me. I've got sponge filters in both of those tanks. And, you know, that's just how I've always done it. Another super chat, Cichlid Guy 915. I know who that is. My friend and moderator on the Tank Talk Facebook group. Thank you, Sergio. That is a big deal. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love that. I mean, that's just really cool. So now the other thing, power heads, again, you can use them for filtration setups, whether you're building some type of DIY filter, which it's not really DIY if you're using a power head, is it? But anyway, you understand what I'm saying. You make your own filter. You can do that with your power head, using the power head to draw water through whatever type of DIY filter you're using. You can use it for an undergraver filter if you're still using those type things. And you could use it for the same purpose I'm using it in my tank over there, a power head. The sole purpose of that power head is just to create surface agitation, a little bit more than what the filter offers. You see a circulation pump right there that's there for the same thing. That's a big tank. It's got two good-sized pumps on there that are pumping water through there. However, it's a big tank. There's a lot of fish in there. I really want a lot of water movement through there, so I added that, and you can see the water rippling on the top. That's what I wanted that pump for. Again, that's a circulation pump, but you could use a power head for that same thing. I hope I'm making sense. They accomplish the same thing just through a different method. You can't do that with an air stone. You can't do that with an air pump. Or can you? Yes, you can. Of course you can, but maybe not to that scale. Again, my God, all these donations are coming through. This is insane. I mean, who knew this kind of thing would happen? Nolan Green, thank you, thank you, thank you. Candy Overhauls, she's like my best friend in the whole wide world. Big Joe's Fish Room, another Tank Talk moderator. Think about this, folks. That doesn't make sense. She's working for free for me and donating money. That's just crazy. But anyway, what a woman she is. Big Joe's Fish Room. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that is a YouTube channel that posts fish videos. So go check his channel out. That's why he just did that, right? That's smart. It makes sense to do that. This keeps happening, and I keep losing track of what I'm talking about. But you have to understand, folks, it's an exciting thing when something like that happens. It's nuts. William Feltner, I don't know if it's not available on iPhones. It might not be. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to this. Air pumps, if your sole purpose, like mine right here, is agitation, just to circulate the water, get the water moving, you can do that with all three of these options. The wave maker or circulation pump, power head, and air stones, or just a regular air pump with whatever type of stone or whatever it is that you have on the end of your air hose. because those bubbles are going to be going up and they're going to be moving the water up front now, or up top. Now, a tank like this, you'd probably need multiple air stones that are sending those bubbles up, which are moving the water around, which you could accomplish that with just one circulation pump. You understand what I'm saying? So they all kind of do similar things, but some excel at other areas than the other. Am I making sense? So if your goal is, I want to use a sponge filter and I want it to be really powerful, I want the most efficiency possible out of that sponge filter, I'm going to tell you, sponge filters are designed to have air go into them, not necessarily a power head. But maybe that's just not working enough for you. So you really want to get that water flowing through the sponge, stick a power head on the top. You're probably going to need an adapter, I'm just telling you, but it's something where you can really get that water to draw through the sponge. But again, they're designed to have air be the sole thing that draws water through it. So keep that in mind. Again, an example of all of these different things accomplishing the same thing, but maybe one doing it better than the other. If the sole purpose of what you want to do is move the water a little bit, maybe your filtration has really good water movement for 3/4 of the tank, but you just kind of have a little dead area over here, like I do. You can't, no, wait a minute, it's there. It's backwards in the camera. Can you see the bubbles right there? The reason why that's there, there's actually a sponge filter behind that big piece of wood. I've got my filtration return right here, and it's moving the water pretty good, but once it got to about here, it was kind of dying down a little bit, and I wanted that surface to really be moving really good in that area. So I put a sponge filter right there. I could have just put an air stone, but I decided, well, what the heck, I'll go ahead and have a little bit more filtration added into it. And this is also a great example of why I've said, if you keep a sponge filter in your tank somewhere hidden, you always have that sponge filter prepared and good and seated and full of all that delicious stuff that your aquarium wants if you need to set up an emergency tank. So I could, if I wanted to keep that agitation there, the surface agitation, but I wanted to use that sponge filter to set up an emergency tank, I could just unhook it from the sponge filter, leave the air hose in there, which would still be bubbling and still creating the surface agitation that I want, and I could take that filter and use it somewhere else. Do you see what I'm saying here? So if your sole purpose is to create a little bit more water movement, an air stone is going to be perfectly fine for that. But if you have, maybe you're using, I don't know, maybe your filtration just isn't up to par with your tank. It's filtering the water good, but you want a little bit more movement. All three of these options would be fine for doing that, because they're all three going to do the exact same thing. They're all going to move the water. They're just going to do it in different ways. So then you have your decision to make. Do you want to have it be a little bit decorative and have fancy, pretty little bubbles, maybe a little bubble wall or something like that, or one of those discs that sends up a upside down waterfall of bubbles? Maybe you go with the air stone then. If you want big time water movement, then you would put a circulation pump like that on there. I hope I'm making sense here. They all kind of do the same thing, but they do it in different ways, and they can each excel in different things. So the question that was asked by Michael Smith, the famous Christian singer, I don't have a favorite. I don't have a favorite of them, because they all do different things. Some do, they don't all do different. I've said it over and over and over again. They do the same thing, but they do it in different ways. And so it's going to totally depend on the application that I'm looking for. That's how I will pick my favorite of that. An air stone in this tank would be there solely for decorative purposes. Bubbles, something to just create a little bit, you know what I'm saying? A focal point. But I don't really need it for surface agitation, because I've got the circulation pump and the 2 returns on there. But if I wanted, I don't need more filtration in that tank. But if I needed it, I'd stick a sponge filter in there. You understand what I'm saying? So they all do different things, but they all kind of do the same thing. I don't know. I don't know if that's making sense. Maybe it's the fact that I'm really shiny today and I'm looking orange like Donald Trump. Maybe I'm just confused today. I don't know. But again, I don't have a personal preference of which one of the three that I like the most. It depends on what it is that I'm doing. So I hope that helps you. I hope that answers your question. And it's probably answered it a little bit more than what it was that you were looking for. Now, a couple more here. Where is it? This one was adorable. You know, this is the internet here. And I'm going to say his name. Why wouldn't I? Dan Jenkins was just looking to get mentioned. That's what he was doing. He was looking to get mentioned on the live stream. His topic suggestion was not me, but his words were, "Why am I stupid?" It doesn't say, "John, why are you stupid?" It literally says, "Why am I stupid?" I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know you, Dan. So that's hard to say. You know, I just thought it was funny. I usually don't read those kind of things because it's just somebody being silly, being a rascal. But I don't know. I just wanted to read that today because I thought it would be cute. Why am I stupid? I don't know why you're stupid. You're just a stupid person. That's what it is. There's a lot of things I could say, but I don't feel like dealing with the aftermath of what it is. And I don't know. I don't want to say you might be a great guy. I don't want to break your balls and then end up getting in trouble. But anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. Let's see. Setting up an outdoor pond for tropical fish. And does he have Al Bundy? Yeah, he's got Al Bundy as his avatar. That's adorable. I'm not going to talk about that because I did a whole video on it with a guy that's a lot more well-versed in it than I am. Pond digger. I mean, come on, Eric Triplett. Wow, Zit Boy. I wonder if he's 13 yet. Anyway, wow. I love YouTube. Yay, YouTube is fun. Oh, I did the live stream with Eric Triplett. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's one of those that kind of slipped through the cracks. I'm not really sure why. It was a rough time for me. I think I had been a little bit inconsistent at the time. And, you know, so a lot of people missed it. But that was a great live stream that I did with him that talked about setting up outdoor ponds and all of that for all different kinds of fish. So definitely go and check that out. Hey, John, thanks for choosing my topic. I didn't. But you just got your name mentioned. Congratulations. Okay. So see, this is what's interesting about what the stupid Zit Boy just did. Because the kid's obviously a moron. I mean, we can all figure that out, right? He's loving the fact that I'm on here doing this and I just said that he's a moron. But this is why. All of your responses talking about, hey, get out of here, go to bed, you know, make sure you go potty before you go to bed and all that. It's funny, but that's what he wants. Haven't you figured out the internet by now? Welcome to the internet. It's such a beautiful place. I just finished doing a very short little video for my good friend Ben Ochart, which was about Tank Talk Facebook groups and stuff like that. You'll have to check that out on his channel, where I kind of talked about that wild, wild west that the internet is and how we love it so much. But anyway, I did not talk about Zit Boy. I talked about, you know, why I created the Tank Talk Facebook group, which was to get away from that kind of nonsense. So, but the thing is, when I come to YouTube, this is available to the whole wide world. So, you know, everybody, anybody is able to come in here. All right, so I just pulled up this stream on the computer, so now I can have a little bit better access to the chat. I made a DIY sponge filter and I don't have an air stone. Will sticking just the air tubing in it create the same water movement? I've actually had to do that before because for, you know, whatever reason, the little connector inside the air, the sponge filter broke. So I would just stick the air hose down in there. And the answer to your question is yes, it will still continue to draw that water up through it. I can't answer the question, is it as efficient as if you had it hooked up to the specific little nipple that's in there? Oh, pardon my language. I don't know. I don't know if it's as efficient as that, but it worked. So there you go. Honestly, I prefer my girl's pump over her head any day. There we go. Yay. Prefer my girl's pump over her head any day. Yeah, I don't know. I read that twice and I still didn't get it. Good job. Let's see. William Feltner just asked something, and when William Feltner speaks, I listen. We're going to get a tank tour this week. Don't say they're dirty. Well, they are dirty. I got to tell you, I think I've worked right now. It's, what's today? Thursday? Yeah, of course it is, because I'm sitting here talking to you. I think I've done about 78 hours already this week. So, I just haven't been able to. But this weekend, Daytona 500's on Sunday. So I'll be doing that. But doing all of my maintenance on Saturday. And then I think I will. I wanted to do that last weekend. I just didn't get the chance. But I do want to do that. And I want to do it live. I want to do a live little walkthrough of everything. But then again, I don't know. I might not do it live. I might just film it and then go from there. But yeah, they are dirty. I actually don't even have all of my tank lights turned on at the moment. So a tank tour would be disastrous because turn the lights on, you don't even know what you're going to find. But yeah, I will do that. I promise. I mean, I'm still kind of transitioning to this new work schedule that I have, and it's rough. I just stripped my first African cichlid and made a DIY egg rocker. How long should the fry remain in the rocker before I put them in a breeder box? They're blue Johannes. Okay, that's a great question. Let's see. First of all, when they need to be in an egg tumbler or an egg rocker, like you call them, it's pretty obvious because they still have an egg sac attached to them, and they're not really doing anything but just kind of floating around and bobbing around and bouncing around because that's what the air is doing. So you'll find that after some time, obviously, they will start to develop. The egg sac will start to disappear and completely disappear. And then what you're going to end up having is free swimming little fry in your rocker. If you're using the egg rocker like the Zis Aqua one or the Cobalt Aquatics one, that's a pretty big, or no, you said DIY, so it's not those. You're probably doing the ones out of the sponge filter tube, and that's great. That's very small, so there's not really any room for the fry to move around in there. But if you start seeing them swimming up, and they're literally in there, they're swimming, then it's time to let them go. If you let them go too early, and they still have that egg sac hanging from them, or if their belly is still really orange, the same color as the egg sac, then they're probably unable to swim, and they're going to sink down to the bottom, and they're going to end up dying. So there is that breaking point where the egg sac is completely consumed, and they're free swimming fry. We actually, very early on, when we were breeding African cichlids, we tried a little experiment where we would throw food in the egg tumbler and see if they would go after the food. Then that's a surefire way of knowing that they're ready. But then after a while, you just know. You just look in there and you know that they're ready because they're looking at you and they're like, what are we doing in this little tube? Come on, get us out of here. And you know that, they start talking to you. It's time to go. Okay, love the streams. Thank you. What are you seeing? I noticed that too, Kayla. Kayla, what's up with the light on the right? Is it like a setting? It's flickering or something. What light on the right? On the 240? I don't think the light's flickering if you're talking about over there. That's just the water movement. Is that the tank you're talking about? Let's see. Let's fast forward here. It's the camera, or did you... Okay, I don't see anything else on it. So there we go. It is the 240. If they start talking to you, you need to go to the hospital. Yeah, that's true. I probably should have gone to the hospital a long time ago. My kids actually filmed me singing and feeding the fish in the fish room. This was like 7 years ago. And they put it on YouTube. It's out there somewhere, but you're never going to find it because if you type in John singing to fish or what, you're never going to find it. But I think it's still there, but I'm pretty sure they took it down. But they put this video up on YouTube of me walking through the fish room, dropping food in, singing to all of the fish. It was pretty embarrassing. I didn't know they were filming. Otherwise, I would have stopped. But okay, so it's not flickering now. I don't know what you're talking about with flickering. It might be the intense glare coming off of my head is just messing with your eyes. I don't know. It's just the camera readjusting continuously. Ah, okay. I think the camera is trying to adjust when John leans forward and looks at a flicker on the 240. Yeah. Who knows? The glare is huge today. I don't know why it is. I haven't shaved in like 3 days. So I don't know what, I don't know why I'm so shiny tonight. The Donkey Balls. What a great name that is. It's just a great name. I just love it. John, why don't you use under gravel filters anymore? I just think there's more efficient ways of filtering an aquarium. If people are still using them, ain't anything wrong with that. If that's your style, go for it. But I don't need it in any of these tanks. I've got filters that I don't even know what to do with. So, oh, that shine. Everybody makes fun of me. My family still makes fun of me for being bald. They think it's funny. I'm not insulted by it. It is what it is. The real question is, what were you singing in that video? I was singing a song that I wrote specifically for the fish. I really did. I mean, it was a special song between me and the fish, and I don't remember it anymore, but all right. Bought a fish at my local fish store. Can't remember what kind it is. At the store, it was black with yellow stripe on the top of the dorsal. At night, light off, fish is black. After 5 minutes of light, fish changes color. Huh? No, I mean, fish do dim out depending on what kind of fish it is. Some fish will dim out a little bit when the lights are off. I'm not smart enough to know the exact science behind that, but that's one of those things that does happen. Was that another super chat? Another super chat, folks. Zach's Tanks Crazy Aquarium Guy. Probably another one that posts videos. So, hey, anybody that wants a shout out to their YouTube channel, this would be the way to do it, because I don't always do that because I don't. So sometimes I miss it. If you can't tell already, it's hard to catch all of these. I'm bald too. Don't even trip, John. More power to us. We just have more brain power. I started shaving my head completely bald when it was still like people would look at you and go, he must be a member of the Brotherhood. He must be a skinhead, or it was. And but thankfully I came in right at the tail end of that, because come on, I mean, that's certainly not me. But now, being bald is no big deal, and that's why I don't understand why my family still thinks it's funny to pick on me. Probably because I'm the only person in my family with the receding hairline. But anyway, bald is cool. Bald is cool, and Lisa likes it. So if anybody else doesn't like it, do you think I care? I have a red-tailed shark that I moved to my 75-gallon African cichlid yanch. All right, cool. I don't know that I like that, but I've heard of crazier things. Who do I like in the 500? Anybody Joe Gibbs Racing. That's who I like. I've been a Joe Gibbs Racing fan. Joe Gibbs Racing is what brought me to NASCAR. So there you go. But my driver is Denny Hamlin, because he's from right down the street from me. And I met him a couple times in Richmond, and he's a cool dude. And It's not like he knows me. It was nothing like that. I met him at like an event. You know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? Kind of thing. I can't tell you what he said to me. Oh, I shouldn't say this because it's good, you know. But I met him at an event. Something happened involving another driver that was also at the event, and he put his head down to the ground as he was standing there in front of me, Denny Hamlin, and he looked down and I swear, he said, douchebag. I swear. I don't know for a fact, but I swear he went, douchebag. Not talking about me, but talking about what the other driver did. And to be honest, what the other driver did was a douchebag thing, because Denny was standing there signing autographs for everybody, and there were other drivers signing autographs for everybody, and this other driver, not going to say who it was, no, it wasn't Dale Jr., buzzed past the crowd, and everybody was saying, hey, come sign our stuff. And he said, no, we have a driver's meeting. And that's why the other drivers were like, no, we don't. We're here. So anyway, but there you go. I like Dale Jr. too, because he's a Redskins fan. So I might only be a Redskins fan for another week or so, and then I might have to find another team. It's either going to be Carolina or the Ravens. But anyway, Joey or Brad, no, wasn't either one of those guys. This is one that you would not, you wouldn't guess. I don't even know if he's still driving, because he's a douchebag. Okay, you keep dwarf cichlids. I do not. Can you have angels and dwarf Germains? I don't know that word. I don't know what that is. Zach, try that again. If that's the actual spelling, then I'm stupid, because I don't know it. If you let Cousins go, I'm drinking bleach. Well, that's going to be the reason why I'm not going to be a Redskins fan, is if they screw things up with him. Dwarf. Are you saying dwarf gouramis? Is that what you were trying to say, and your spell check screwed you up all over the place? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I've had those with gouramis before. Cowboys, Steelers. Okay, that's fine. Can you put it? Uh-oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? Can you put an air stone on an African cichlid tank? Yeah, of course you can. What would make you think you can't? Of course, you absolutely can. African cichlids do appreciate a lot of water movement. And what does an air stone do? It provides plenty of water movement. So yeah, certainly, absolutely. Go right ahead. Do you ever feed live fish to your cichlids, or know anyone that does? Is there any benefits to this? There is absolutely no benefit to it. I don't care what anybody says. There's no benefit to it. The same people that would tell you that, or the people that would tell you that, are the same people that would tell you it's good to beat a pit bull or a Rottweiler because it makes them mean and their true instincts come out. Because that's one of the things that I've heard from people. It allows fish to use their instincts and chase after their prey and all this kind of stuff. If they tell you that, just poo-poo that. I don't feed live fish to anything. There are certain live foods that certainly do have a benefit to certain fish. I don't necessarily have any of those fish. I mean, there are things I could feed the discus and the angels and stuff like that that would benefit them, sure. But I don't do it because I have frozen foods and I have pellets and I have flakes and I have all these different things. So it's not necessary for me to do that. But there are certain fish that do like live foods, not necessarily live fish, especially when you're talking about feeder guppies and feeder comets. I just think that's dumb. I think it's stupid, and I think it's too risky. So, and it's mean. Yeah, I said it. It's mean. Why do that? It's not. I'm not entertained by that. Look, we feed our dogs food that has a lot of what in it? Lamb and rice, chicken, things like that, right? Do you let your dog chase around chickens and slaughter them and eat them? Do you let them chase around cute little baby lambs? Nope. Why is it important to let your fish do that? Why wouldn't you let your dog do that? Because it's mean, it's messy, it's gross, and there's a risk for disease. Well, guess what? All the same things apply to live fish. So, no. Shouldn't have got me started on that. Whoever asked that. No, I'm not. I'm just being funny. I'm not picking on you. Okay. Well, it skipped again. What is your favorite group of African cichlid? Whew. I mean, I love them all. I love haps. I love peacocks. I love imbunas. I love Tanganyikans. I love Victorians. I can't. You can't make me do that. My favorite fish is the trout. No, my trout has not colored up yet, James Largo. But my favorite is the trout. I almost said Budico fry. The Buconodo is another one of my favorites. Venustus are another one of my favorites. Yellow labs. Yes, yellow labs are some of my favorites. But I don't know that I have a favorite group. What should be done when you notice your cichlid is holding? Lots of breeding questions today. The first decision that you have to make is, do you want to keep the fry? Because if you want to keep the fry versus, I don't really care, the things that you're going to do are completely different. If you're the kind of guy that says, I don't care, I don't have room for all these new fish, well, then you don't do anything and you just let nature take its course. If you want to keep the fry, I would do some research. You can do it right on this channel that you're already on, of how to strip fry if you want to do it that way. Stripping eggs. I have a bad connection. Hopefully y'all are still on here. Let's see, it's frozen on mine. Okay, there it is. Egg tumblers, like we talked about earlier. A fry tank, a nursery type tank you could have. So there's a lot of ways around it. Go to, on this channel, there is an entire series. It's the most watched series on my channel, which is Breeding African Cichlids. And it'll tell you everything you need to know. Not everything, but the main fundamental things that you're going to want to know. And it'll help you to make your decision of what it is that you want to do. How would you stock a 330-gallon Malawi-themed setup to breed multiple African cichlids? Multiples in one tank. Yeah, the signal looks bad, doesn't it? Nobody's saying anything about it. That surprises me. Sorry, I'm looking at the signal here because it's red. Okay, now it's yellow. Maybe I'm getting better. Maybe it's not going to jump around on us. If I start to see everybody dropping out, then I'll know that the signal was so bad that everybody's bowing out. Which would be, thank you, YouTube. I mean, really. But, okay, where I had something. I'm watching your YouTubes from the day you started streaming on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you, Abby. That's really cool. I hope you enjoy them. I have a lot of fun with these. Did you get a gold nugget yet? No, I did not. In fact, I went to Petco. Go ahead. Say whatever you want to say. It's the only thing I have near me, okay? I went to Petco because I wanted some help with the algae in that tank. Wanted to get some bristlenose. I've got 2 in there. They're never seen. I never see them. I wanted to get literally like 4 or 5 more to put in there and really do a number on that driftwood. They didn't have any. But what they did have was the most adorable golden rams. They were absolutely adorable. I bought 3 of them. I brought them home, and within 24 hours, they were all dead. Yep, they were all dead. So that wasn't any fun. But I also Lisa made me get 2 female guppies. I'll show them to you this weekend for the guppy tank. She wants guppies to breed, and then for me to take care of them. And then I got 3 cherry barbs, little 1-inch cherry barbs for the Evo. Somebody asked me earlier about the shrimp. I swear somebody said something about the shrimp. I don't have them yet. I got a text from Rob yesterday or the day before. He said, hey, I am so sorry, we've been swamped. I hope it's because he did that stream with me. I hope that that's driven a lot of orders to his website. But he's been swamped, and he's really apologetic and really upset that he hasn't sent them out yet. But he did say that he's going to try to send them for a delivery. He said for Friday. So they might actually come tomorrow. We'll have to see. I don't know. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I didn't get any kind of tracking number or anything like that. Rob, you're not watching, but if you are, if you did send them, a tracking number would be awesome. Okay, tanked. Cool. What do you recommend for bottom feeders for a 125 planted peaceful tanks? I have guppies and shrimp and tetras. Corys. Corys can go in there. Small bristlenose, I like. 125 gallon with a bunch of shrimp in there. That's really cool. You're not alone, are you? Is someone down here with me? I don't know. John, I have a red-tailed shark. I had to move to my African cichlid tank. He seems happy and getting much larger. Is that okay to keep him in the tank? He might be okay, but it might not be okay. If you had asked me before moving him in there, I would have told you, I think it's a little bit too risky. But I've heard crazier things. So, who do you buy shrimp from? Flip Aquatics is where these are going to be coming from that I'm going to have in the 2 tanks here. Do you watch Tanked? I have not watched it in a while, but I love that show. I mean, I loved it, particularly in the beginning when it was aquarium builds and not as much of the nonsense. The practical jokes, and they're doing this and they're doing that. I just want to see the tanks. I want to see the first 10 minutes when they're doing the little consultation, and then I want to see the last 10 minutes when it gets installed and it's all done. That was my favorite parts of that show. But Brett Raymer actually follows me on Twitter and knows who I am. It's true. It's probably a bald thing, the brotherhood. But in fact, my brother-in-law went to an event in Roanoke, which is where my brother-in-law lives, Roanoke, Virginia. The Tanked guys were there. He went up to Brett and said, hey, my brother-in-law does a bunch of stuff on YouTube or whatever. And he said, who's your brother-in-law? And he said, John, the KGTropicals guy. And he said, oh, yeah, okay, I know who that guy is. And he actually even did a little video like saying, hey, John, you should come down here and stuff. Very, very cool. So I've never met him. I don't know. We've never talked back and forth or anything, but he knows who I am. So that's pretty cool. That's the kind of thing that happens when you have a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 subscribers or 50,000. I wonder this all the time. Like, I wonder if my favorite celebrities have ever caught one of my videos. I mean, how cool would that be? Why would they be watching fish videos? But like Bob De Niro, I call him Bob because we're close like that. Robert De Niro, how cool would that be if he watched one of my videos? Anyway, I stopped watching after the fridge cichlid tank. I don't see that tank being beneficial to cichlids long term. There's a guy selling his 125 from Tanked in my area, and he wants 3,000 for it. Whoa. Yeah, they did build some strange tanks. There's a lot of people that really, hardcore elitists that hate on that show because of, they give fish keepers the impression that new tanks are easy to set up and they're instantly cycled and all this kind of stuff, and they don't really go over the fundamentals of setting up an aquarium, and there is definite truth to that. But to me, what that show is successful at doing is getting people interested, and I think that's what it's for. I don't think it's an advertisement for ATM. I don't think it's like making people want to get these huge stupid shark tanks like the guy got in his basement, which was just really dumb. No offense to those guys. They did a great job building the tank, but who wants an amusement park in their basement? But anyway, who was that? What was that comedian that did that? I see him, but I can't. Tracy Morgan. That's the one. But anyway, I don't think that that's what they're after. I think they're trying to promote the hobby and get people interested in the hobby. And with that, I think they're very successful. But the people have to, hopefully it gets them interested, and then they go in and they do their research and learn what they need to learn rather than just jumping right in like those guys do. So there you go. I bet my fish would love living under my big sleeping butt. Good job getting me to read that one. You are doing something original when you change water in your tanks. Tell us about it. I am talking about the Could water? Cold water, you mean? No, that's certainly not original. I'm not doing anything original. I take water out, I put water in. Very, very easy. I do small water changes in this tank, or actually both of these tanks, more frequently. I do big water changes in this one. And I don't do anything that's like groundbreaking, or I do it just like the same way you do. Are stingrays hard to keep? I would put them at the same level as discus. You know, they're not a beginner fish at all, but you don't have to be, you know, a 25-year fish keeper to keep them. If you understand water chemistry, if you understand how to keep a clean aquarium, then you won't have any problems. So, okay. All right, so look, folks, it's going to be time to shut it down because literally I came home, I came straight down here, and I started messing with y'all, and I haven't even... Oh, did Denny just win the second half of the duel? I wasn't even watching. See, I haven't even turned the TV off. Good, that's my guy, so that's very cool. But anyway, have you ever been in Backyard Fight Club? Nope, haven't. Do I look like a guy that goes to backyard fight clubs? I'd love to go to one, but I'd never participate in one because I'd get my butt kicked, and I'd come in to do these live streams with bumps and bruises and cuts, and I'd have to admit that I got my butt kicked, and I don't want to do that. So anyway, this has been a lot of fun, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thanks once again to the people who did the super chats. That's just, I'll never get over that. That's never going to get old to me. That's very, very cool. I don't remember exactly who they all were now, but I did shout you out when you did it. So thank you very much. Hopefully YouTube gives me that money because, I mean, hey, stealing from me. But this has been a lot of fun, just like every single week is. If you have a topic that you're looking to get covered in one of these live streams, this is what you're going to do. You're going to wait about 15 minutes, and then you're going to come back and comment on this video replay. Not right now, because if you comment right now, it's going to go away as soon as I click finish, which is right there. So here's what you do. First of all, right now, you go ahead and click the like button. Let's go ahead and get that up. I did this last time, and everybody that was watching liked it, and it was really good. So thank you for that. So let's all click the like button. Then I'm going to click finish. We're going to be done, and then it's going to re-upload in about 10 minutes or so. And once it does that, go in there, put your comment in there of the question that you would like to see addressed next week. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get to every single one, but do that. That's the best way to get your topic suggestion in. I read every single one. I know that I don't respond to every single comment. I wish I could, but I just can't. But I do read every single one, so I promise you I will see it. And you never know. Yours might be the one that I select to cover next week. So don't forget KGTropicals.com. I know my inventory is very low right now. It's a long story, but go over there, order up your fish food, your medications, your Pleco plushies like you see. Order up all of those. Send them out to you right away. Thank you all so much. Join the Tank Talk Facebook group. Don't forget about that. I could go all night long. Thank you once again, and I'll see you next week.